When I married Sarah, I believed she was the kind of woman who valued honesty above everything. She was charming, intelligent, and always confident in her career. I was proud of her success and the way she commanded respect at work. But over time, something in her changed. Late-night calls became frequent, her laughter over text messages increased, and she started dressing up even when she claimed it was just a casual meeting. I told myself it was just work stress and that I was being paranoid. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. One Friday evening, she told me her boss, Mr. Hayes, had invited her to a private brainstorming session at his apartment. I remember asking why it had to be at his place, not the office. She snapped at me, saying I was being insecure. That was the first time she ever raised her voice over something so small. My heart sank, but I didn't push it further. Instead, I waited. The next day, I decided to drive to the address she had mentioned before, pretending I was meeting a friend nearby. I parked my car across the street from Mr. Hayes' apartment and waited. Her car was there. The lights inside were on, and I could see two shadows moving around. After 20 long minutes, my patience broke. I went up and knocked on the door. When Mr. Hayes opened it, his expression said everything. He was half-dressed and frozen in shock. Behind him, Sarah stood there in disbelief, trying to come up with an excuse. I didn't need one. The silence spoke louder than any lie. I turned to leave, but that's when she said something that made me stop dead in my tracks. "Wait," she said nervously. "You don't have to be angry. We were just experimenting. Maybe you can join us and we can talk this out." Her voice trembled, but it wasn't with guilt, it was embarrassment that I had caught her. That moment shattered every piece of respect I had left for her. I looked her straight in the eye and said, "I'm not part of whatever game you're playing. But you just lost the only person who ever respected you." Mr. Hayes tried to interrupt, saying it wasn't what it looked like, but I walked out before I did something I'd regret. Driving home, I felt a mix of rage and sadness. I didn't know whether to scream or cry. I had been faithful, supportive, and patient. Yet, I was treated like a fool. I spent the night packing her belongings into boxes, every item reminding me of a lie I hadn't seen before. The next morning, when she returned home, her face was pale. "Can we talk?" she asked, her voice soft now, as if that could undo the damage. I told her there was nothing left to discuss. "You can talk to your boss about what you've done. Maybe he'll give you some advice on damage control," I said coldly. She started crying, saying it was a mistake, that it didn't mean anything. But it meant everything to me. It meant I had been betrayed not just as a husband, but as a man who believed in her integrity. I told her I'd already called her brother to help her move her things out. When her brother arrived, he looked at me, confused, until I told him the truth. His face turned red with shame and anger. He didn't say a word to her. He just helped carry the boxes. The silence in the room was heavier than any argument. 2 weeks later, I received a message from one of her co-workers. Apparently, Mr. Hayes had been fired for inappropriate conduct after someone anonymously reported him to HR with proof. That someone was me. I had sent the photos I'd taken that night to the company's board. Sarah tried reaching out to apologize again, saying she'd lost everything because of one mistake. But I didn't reply. I had already filed for divorce and was determined to rebuild my life from the ground up. Looking back, I realized that betrayal often reveals people's true colors. I wasn't angry anymore. I was free. Sometimes, harsh reactions aren't born from cruelty but from self-respect. I didn't destroy her life. She did that herself the moment she invited me to witness the end of our marriage. In the end, I learned that loyalty is not something you can demand. It's something you prove. And once trust is broken, no apology or excuse can ever rebuild it the same way again.